Hey there, welcome to Coaching with Tally. We are wrapping up our series that we've been in for the last 2 weeks, all about taking your power back, getting into the driver's seat of your life, being in 100% ownership and responsibility over your results. And why that is such incredible news is because it means that you're never stuck. When you really learn how to get into the driver's seat of your life, when you learn how to take responsibility for every result in your life, in every area of your life, then there is no circumstance outside of yourself that can keep you stuck. There's no person outside of yourself that has more power over you than you do. It's an incredible gift. So we're going to go through and summarize, touch in on all of the different things that we've done for the last 2 weeks, because there's something really powerful as you're learning and integrating new things. When you recap it, when you that's not the word I'm looking for, not recap. When you access it in the place in your mind that you've stored it, there's a word that I'm looking for. When you retrieve, I knew it was an R word. When you retrieve that information where you have it stored in your brain, so you learn something new or you integrate it into your life, or you're like really wanting to embody this thing, the more times you go and you retrieve it from that place in your brain that you have stored it, it makes that access point so much easier for you. So the more times you do that, that's why repetition is so important. That's why creating habits is so important. It's almost the way that I picture it in my mind is like, a tall grassy field, and when you start to walk a certain place over and over again, you wear down that grass and there's like a clear path there. That's what you're doing for your brain every time you go and you retrieve new information and you integrate it. So I'm going to go back over the whole series and recap some of the places that we have visited along the way and just touch in on it, because it just helps get it a little bit deeper into our own experience and hopefully life habits for you. So the first one is, well, let me just say, first of all, taking responsibility for your life is understanding that it's not anyone else's job. It's not anyone else's responsibility to get you living a life that you're made for. So when you get that there's not anything outside of yourself that can stop you from creating a life that you're made to live, that is powerful. That is super powerful. So not your friends, not your family, not your partner. It's nobody else's job to figure out what that is for you and to get you creating what it is you're made for. And that actually is a gift. That's not a negative thing. That's such a positive thing. Because when you get that, then you can kind of get into action around it. You can get into motion around it. And you can heal the things that have been done that you've been making excuses for why you can't move forward, or you've been feeling stuck in this place of feeling like a victim about. When you're like, okay, this has happened to me, but it's now my job to take responsibility for what I want to do with it. So you're the only person that's ever been with you your entire life, and you're the only person that's ever going to be with you for the rest of your life. Like really, in all of the moments, in all of the mindsets, and all of the things, you are the one. You and God are the only ones really who are in that place. So you're in the driver's seat. And the more that we know that, the more that we can get in activation around creating what we want. So to recap, being in total ownership of your life is not blaming other people. So when we get that blame isn't justifying other people's unfair actions of us, but it's us not being a victim anymore. We kind of touched on that just now. But when we get out of the habit of, oh, I'm not, in this place that I want to be because, or like I can't achieve these things because this person has spoken all this negative stuff about me or over my life, or doesn't believe in me, or whatever the things are. When we're just like, doesn't matter what anybody else has done or says or is trying to do to keep you down or hold you back, or like, it doesn't matter. It is your job to figure out what it's going to take to create what you want. So not blaming other people is a big, huge one. Second one is not making excuses. So just like stop making excuses. When we find ourselves starting to like, oh, I didn't get there on time because I found myself doing it this morning. I was going to meet a client somewhere and there was construction and a light, and I was like, I'm like, nope, I could have left earlier. That's on me. So it's just those little moments of taking responsibility for not making circumstances or excuses out of anything, but just going my responsibility for my results. So, and that can come in the way of attitudes, it can come in the way of mindsets, choices. When you just go, there are no reasons that I have the results in my life that are outside of me, except for decisions I've made, choices that I've engaged in, actions I've taken, mindsets that I have. All of my results are based on those things. And there might be real, like very understandable, valid reasons why you came to the conclusions you did, or you were afraid to take action, or whatever the things are. Like, it's not a shame or blame game. Here, I didn't mean for that to rhyme. Excuse me. But it is about just being in ownership, because it keeps you from being stuck. 3, not giving other people so much power over us. So, excuse me, getting that what other people think about me really is none of my business. That's just that simple. What other people say, think about me is so much more a reflection of how they feel about themselves than anything to do with me. And of course, yes, we want feedback. And when we see patterns, feedback patterns from people that we know care about us, of course, that's such great information and we can adjust and grow. It's awesome. But other people's judgment is really about them more than anything. So just not letting the opinions or judgments of other people dictate who we know ourselves to be. I'll leave it at that. Developing daily habits in regard to your body, in regard to your soul, in regard to your spirit, excuse me, that set you up to create the kind of results that you want to have in your life. So just integrating a little bit at a time, daily habits that really steer you into the things that you want. Hey, thanks for saying hi. Self-love. So really learning how to love yourself well. And when we get this, then we stop like clinging to other people for it. We stop creating these kind of subtle, demanding expectations on other people for us to be okay. A lot of those codependent kind of dynamics where we're like, well, I will love you, and then I want you to meet all of my needs. We can shift that and go, oh my gosh, I can begin really getting the things that I need from myself internally and spiritually. And then also knowing what you need, being able to ask for what you need, make requests without demands and expectations. So learning how to love yourself well. Man, that laughing, I just like choked on something. Giving yourself permission to feel all of your feelings. So we have this huge, beautiful range of colors, so to speak, when it comes to our emotions, and realizing that nobody's happy, nobody's positive all of the time, that all of these feelings are indicators, almost like a dashboard on our car. And having some of those challenging or difficult emotions are really, it's just really good information for you. It's telling you something, that something is off. Either there's a need that you have that's not being met, or maybe there's an injustice going on, and that's your response to it. So having the challenging emotions in life, allowing yourself to take in the feedback from yourself about what that is, knowing that it's going to pass. You're not going to stay stuck in this emotion forever, and just giving yourself grace and space. What is with the rhymes? I feel like Dr. Seuss today. That was not a plan. Giving yourself space to feel all of your emotions. Recognizing, so next one, 7, recognizing that fulfillment is an inside job. So it's not something that's going to come from things that you get, anything that you can buy, stuff that you have, even circumstances. Like it's an inside job. Fulfillment, happiness, deep joy, all of that those are things that can only come from an internal place inside of you. I mean, it's how we see like the movie stars and people who have a lot of success. Like a lot of times their life ends in suicide, or they have like really significant depression, or they're just actually not happy. And it's from this belief that we really believe that all these things out here are going to be what brings fulfillment, when it can only come from inside. And then you see these kids, like I gave the example on the day that I did this, these kids that I went and visited in India who have been rescued from human trafficking and been through horrific things, like had people try to kill them, like horrific traumatic experiences, and they genuinely experience deep fulfillment and joy, and are some of the most loving people that I've ever met. They're incredible. And so it's not the things that are outside of us, either our circumstances or our stuff, that create fulfillment and happiness. It's our internal, we are a meaning maker, and what we decide things mean really shapes a lot of our internal experience, and finding joy from the inside out. Having integrity with your word is the next one. So being somebody who, when you say you're going to do something, you do it. You commit to it. You find ways to fulfill on that thing. You don't say yes to things that you can't do or that you don't actually want to do. So having healthy boundaries, and then just following through on being your word, because it not only creates credibility with other people, it creates incredible confidence internally for you when you are in integrity, when you do what you say you're going to do and you follow through with that. 9, not being a complainer, not being a whiner and a complainer. So when you get in the habit of not complaining, it actually, we've talked before in other series about the RAS system. That's the reticular activating system, part of your brain that is wired to keep your brain from being completely overwhelmed. So there's so much stimulation that goes on in the world, and your RAS system helps determine what it is that really matters to you, what it is you care about, and filters in what you care about and blocks out what you don't. So that's why when you're car shopping for a specific car, you start seeing it everywhere. So when you're a complainer, it tells your brain to key into the things that are irritating or frustrating so that you can complain about them. And when you stop being a complainer, a lot of those things you stop noticing as much. When you start being someone who looks for what you're grateful for, when you look for the good in other people, when you look for the positive in certain situations, your brain begins to go, oh, that's what they care about, and starts to highlight and help you notice and filter in those things that are positive. So there's actually a scripture, I think it's in Philippians, and it says, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, if there's anything admirable, I don't know how to say that word, admirable or excellent, let your mind think about those things, and the God of peace will be with you. So when we focus on, when we train our brain to not complain, but to focus on the good, the beautiful, the lovely, the excellent, we actually begin to see those things show up all around us. Super fascinating. So not complaining. And let's see, we've got 2 more. So getting into action is maybe one of the biggest ones. So I work with clients. I didn't even introduce myself. I'm sorry. My name is Tally. I'm a life and personal development coach, and I work with leaders to create lives of overflowing impact in the world that are centered in joy. And so I do private coaching and group coaching. I lead a mastermind, and I lead retreats. So it's kind of how I work with people. And one of the things that I do with my clients is work a lot in the place of vision. So helping them get really clear about where they're currently at right now, get super clear about where it is that they want to go. And we look at every area of life. We have a life wheel. We look at spirituality and career and finances and relationships and health and wellness and being a contribution in the world, and how is it that you fill back up. We look at all of the areas of life and get really clear vision about what it is that they want. But if that's where we stop, we just have vision, like it's not going to lead to a life that you want. You have to get into action around it. You have to create that strategic plan to get yourself into motion. You have to create those daily habits. You have to create the intention. It's super important to just massive imperfect action, get moving. So getting into action is number 10. And number 11 is being intentional about who it is that you let into your inner circle. So you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Those people that you allow to influence you, you're an average of that. The way that they think, the mindsets that they have, the habits that they create, you will see influence you. So choosing really, really wisely who you let be in your inner circle. Hey, Taylor, who is it that I did some research on around this? Because I want to give credit. Lachlan Brown. I did some reading on Lachlan Brown. So you can find some more of this if you want to research him. All about getting into responsibility and researching. So being intentional about who you surround yourself with, getting into action, stop complaining, having integrity with your word, recognizing that fulfillment is an inside job, giving yourself permission to feel all of your emotions, creating life habits in every area of your life that serve you and move you into what you want to create, loving yourself really, really well, not giving other people and their opinions and judgments power over you. Stop making excuses and blaming other people, and you will create a life that you love living. When you get into this place of taking responsibility, of being in ownership, you will create a life that you love living. So we'll be back starting a new series tomorrow, and I would love to hear your feedback on things that you guys want me to speak on, things that you guys want me to do research on, give you experience that I have with my private clients. What is it that you guys need and want right now? How can I support you? Awesome. So message me directly on those things, because I would really love to hear. I would genuinely love to meet you guys where you're at and support you in whatever ways that I can. So blessings. I hope you have an incredible day. If you want to be receiving emails on this, I type up the notes. I don't type up the notes. Let's not take credit for things that I haven't done. I have an amazing assistant, Taylor, who types up notes on this and attaches the videos and gets them to people in email form. So if you're not able to join this every day and you would like to be getting this, you can also message me your email. We'll make sure you get on that list, and that'll also let you know about retreats and other things we have coming up. So if you are not on that, you would like it, let me know. Message me your ideas for what I can do to support you. And I just want to tell all of you right now, you are incredibly loved. You are a gift to the world. And it's wonderful connecting with you here. See you soon.